Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. How are you today? Today I am here with Daniel and today we are going to talk about the power of habits.
Hello everyone, I am very happy to be here today. Let's start our conversation.
It is so wonderful to have you here, Daniel. You know, this topic is something I have been thinking about a lot lately. Every single day, we wake up and we do so many things without even thinking about them. We brush our teeth, we make our coffee, and we check our phones almost automatically. It feels like we're on autopilot, right?
Oh, absolutely, Emma. I completely agree with you. In fact, I read a study recently that said almost 40% of the actions we do every day are not actual decisions, but they are just habits. That is nearly half of our day. It's amazing how much our brains love to save energy by turning regular actions into automatic routines. It makes me wonder how much control we actually have over our daily lives.
Wow, 40%? That is a very big number. It's both scary and exciting when you really think about it. It means if we have good habits, we're automatically doing good things for ourselves. But if we have bad habits, we're hurting ourselves without even knowing it. How did you feel when you first realized how much of your day is just a routine?
Well, it was a big wake-up call for me, to be honest. I used to think that I made conscious choices all day long, but when I looked closer at my morning routine, I realized I was just following a script. For example, as soon as my alarm went off, my hand would immediately reach for my phone to check social media. I didn't think about it, my brain just did it. That sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Yes, that is so true. I think almost everyone does that these days. We think we're choosing to look at our phones, but it's just a reaction. That's actually what scientists call a habit loop. It's a concept that explains exactly how a habit is formed and how it stays in our brains for a long time. Have you ever heard of the habit loop before, Daniel?
I have, yes. It's a fascinating idea. From what I understand, the habit loop has three main parts. First, there's the cue, which is like a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. Then there's the routine, which is the behavior or the action you actually do. And finally, there's the reward, which is something your brain likes and helps it remember the loop for the future. Is that correct?
Exactly. You explained that perfectly, Daniel. Let's look at your phone example to make it super clear. The cue is your alarm clock ringing or just waking up. The routine is grabbing your phone and scrolling through your messages. And the reward is that little feeling of excitement or new information that your brain gets. It feels good for a moment, so your brain says, hey, let's do this again tomorrow.
That makes so much sense. And the craziest part is that our brains do not know the difference between a good habit and a bad habit. It just wants the reward. So if I want to change that bad habit of checking my phone first thing in the morning, I need to understand the cue and change the routine. But wow, it is much harder to do in real life than it is to talk about it.
Oh, I agree completely. Breaking a habit feels like trying to walk up a mountain backwards. It takes a lot of effort because those pathways in our brain are already so deep and strong. I actually tried to change my own morning habit last month. Instead of looking at my phone, I decided I wanted to drink a full glass of water and stretch for 5 minutes. Do you want to guess how that went?
That sounds fun, but knowing how hard habits are, I'm gonna guess that the first few days were okay, but then it became difficult. Did you manage to keep going, or did you go back to your old ways? Please tell me, because I always struggle after the first week of trying something new.
You guessed right, Daniel. The first 3 days were great. I felt like a superhero. I drank my water, I stretched, and I felt so healthy. But on the 4th day, I was so tired. The cue was the same, I woke up, but my brain did not want the routine of stretching. It wanted the easy reward of the phone. I failed that day, and I felt so bad about myself.
Oh, really? Don't be so hard on yourself, Emma. That is a very natural reaction. I think when we try to change our lives, we expect ourselves to be perfect right away, but learning how to build new habits is a slow process. I read that it takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. That's more than 2 months.
66 days? Wow, that is a long time. No wonder so many people give up on their New Year's resolutions by the middle of January. It requires a lot of patience. But you know, something that helped me later was making the good habit easier to do. I put a glass of water right next to my bed before I went to sleep, so when I woke up, the water was right there. I did not have to walk to the kitchen.
That is a brilliant strategy, Emma. You modified your environment to make the good choice the easiest choice.
I did something similar with my reading habit. I wanted to read more books instead of watching television at night. So I hid the TV remote control in a drawer and I placed a book right on top of my pillow. Every time I went to bed, the book was staring right at me.
That's true, and it works so well. If you make a bad habit difficult to do, you're less likely to do it. By hiding the remote, you created an obstacle for your brain. Your brain is lazy in a good way, so it chooses the easier option, which was the book on your pillow. Did that strategy help you finish more books?
It really did. I finished 2 books in 1 month, which is a big record for me. Before that, I hadn't finished a book in a whole year. It made me realize that we don't lack willpower, we just have environments that make bad habits too easy. If we want to change our lives, we must change our surroundings first.
I love that idea so much. We do not lack willpower. We just need to change our environment. That is very powerful. It takes away the guilt. Many people think they're lazy or weak because they can't stick to a diet or study a new language, but really, they're just fighting against an environment that is full of temptations.
Exactly. Think about trying to eat healthy food when your kitchen cabinet is full of potato chips and cookies. Every time you open the cabinet, your brain sees the cue, the chips, and wants the reward. You have to fight your own desires 10 times a day. But if you don't buy the chips at the grocery store, the temptation is simply not there. The choice is made before you even get hungry.
That's such a good example. It's all about planning ahead. I also think that tracking your progress can be incredibly helpful and motivating. For instance, I use a calendar on my wall, and every day that I complete my morning stretch, I put a big red X on that day. After a few days, you see a chain of red crosses, and you don't want to break that chain.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I've heard of that method before. I think it's called the don't break the chain method. It creates a visual reward for our brains. We look at the calendar and feel proud of our consistency. Consistency is definitely the secret ingredient to any successful transformation, whether you're learning English, exercising, or saving money.
I agree. Consistency is everything. Hey, Daniel, did you notice the phrase you used earlier? You said it was a big wake-up call for me. That is a useful sentence.
Yes, many people use it every day. A wake-up call is an event or realization that makes you understand that you need to change something in your life. It's like an alarm clock for your personal awareness.
Let's give another example of how to use it.
Great idea. You could say, getting a bad grade on his exam was a big wake-up call for him to start studying harder. It means the bad grade forced him to realize his old study habits were not working.
Perfect. That is a very common idiom in daily English. Another thing I want to talk about is a grammar point. During our conversation, we used words like woke up, drank, and hid. These are all past tense verbs, but they are special because they are irregular verbs.
Oh yes, irregular verbs can be a little tricky for English learners because they do not follow the standard rule of adding ed at the end. For example, the regular verb look becomes looked in the past, but the irregular verb drink does not become drinked, it becomes drank.
Exactly. Let's look at the present versus the past for the ones we used. Wake up becomes woke up, drink becomes drank, and hide becomes hid. Let's practice with a simple pronunciation tip for woke up. Make sure the O sound is long and round, like in the word know. Listen carefully. Woke up.
Woke up. That sounds very clear. It is very important to memorize these irregular verbs because we use them constantly when we share stories or talk about our past experiences. For instance, you could say, yesterday I woke up early, drank a glass of water, and hid my phone in my backpack. That sentence uses all 3 irregular verbs perfectly.
That is an excellent sentence example, Daniel. Thank you for sharing that. It makes learning these structures much easier when they're placed in a real-life context. Part 4, Listener Engagement. Now, we want to hear from you, our lovely listeners. What about you? Do you have any morning habits that you do completely on autopilot? Or maybe you have a bad habit that you really want to change this year?
Yes, please share your thoughts with us. Please write your answer in the comments below. We love reading your stories and seeing how you practice your English. And if you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more episodes. Your support helps us create more learning content for you every week.
Part 5, Ending. Today was a lot of fun, Daniel. Talking about habits always inspires me to look closely at my own routines and make better choices.
I enjoyed our conversation today too, Emma. It's amazing how small changes in our daily routines can lead to massive results over time.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of our podcast. Keep practicing every day because regular practice is the best habit you can build for your English learning journey.
See you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.